York County is so much more than just a stop for gas on I-80. 17 County is filled with unique individuals with unique stories just waiting to be told. Welcome to the 17 County Podcast with your host, Emily Perry.
This is 17 County Podcast. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. Be sure to like, subscribe, and listen on your favorite platform. This helps our podcast grow, and we thank you for your continued support. We would like to thank our York County Development Corporation stakeholder investors, AgriProducts, BGIN USA, Cornerstone Bank, York General, Central Valley Ag, and York State Bank. Without these great stakeholders, we wouldn't be able to focus on the growth and development of York County here at the YCDC. So thank you. And now, let's get to the conversation.
I am here with Katelin Rood, owner of local coffee shop, Macks Golden Grounds. Welcome to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. So tell me a little bit about yourself. Did you grow up in the area?
I am from Waco. I went to Centennial. I graduated in 2007. My maiden name is Bristol. A lot of people have asked me that, but I graduated from Centennial and I met my husband in 2012 and we got married in 2014 and moved to Illinois. And in 2021, we moved back to Nebraska.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's how we got back to York.
What brought you back to York?
Both of my parents passed away. My mom died in 2019 and my dad died in 2018. And going through that alone in Illinois was really hard. So I told my husband we either needed to go back to Nebraska or go to his family in Pennsylvania. And Nebraska had his job. So we were able to finagle something with his job to get him into York. And it's been really good for all of us.
That's good.
Well, for both of us. We have cats.
Well,
no kids.
They count.
So
I'm glad you guys could come back.
Yeah.
That would be tough being out without family during
it was
stuff
hard.
like that. Yeah. Outside of work, are you guys involved in anything in this community?
Yeah, I am I'm on the board with Young Professionals. That's about it. I try to be really involved in Young Professionals. I'm just trying to get my feelers out there to get potentially involved in more. But right now, YP has been quite a bit. It's been quite a great commitment that we've done.
Yeah.
So
what would you say to someone who doesn't know anything about Young Professionals?
Oh my gosh, that's hard. Because I've tried doing that. It's really hard to describe because it's kind of a social group, but it's also kind of a professional development group. The spectrum of what we do is just so wide. We do things where we go, today we went to Chances Are for lunch. And then sometimes we do lunch and learns about how to adult. And then sometimes we host a summer event called York Olympics. And it's just the spectrum is so wide of what we do. I guess I'm not entirely sure how to describe it, but I think it's a fun organization for personal growth, professional growth, and just networking.
Is it pretty good? Is it pretty easy to get involved?
Oh, yes. So easy. You just have to sign up through the chamber, and a lot of times your job will pay for it for professional, I think for professional growth or just for some sort of when I worked at Cornerstone, they paid to have you be representing the company.
That makes sense. Yeah. Well, that sounds cool. I'm glad our community has something like that.
Yes, it's very cool.
Growing up, did you ever want to own a business?
Yeah, actually. I used to work at Wendy's. I started there when I was in middle school, and I stayed there until I was in my early 20s. And I thought running my own business would be a lot of fun. Maybe not fun, but something that I would be good at because I was a team leader. And then jokingly, I told my husband when we lived in Illinois that we should just get a Chick-fil-A franchise and just open it in York or something that could bring us back to York. And we always just joked about it. But so yeah, I guess I have wanted to do some sort of business. I just didn't know what it was and how to do it.
Have you ever had any entrepreneurial, whatever that word is, things?
Yes. No, not really. Other than like multi-level marketing businesses, but we're not going to talk about those.
Yeah, we'll go on.
Yes. Those don't count.
No, not really. How has it been owning a small business in a community such as York?
So it's been really interesting. We got really involved in the Chamber of Commerce and the YCDC, which is, okay, it's the York County Development Court. Is that right?
Corporation.
Corporation.
Yep.
Okay, so we got really involved there, and their resources helped us out so much. I feel like the support of the YCDC and the York Chamber of Commerce have been great. It's helped us promote things. It's helped us do our name change. And also the community has been really welcoming, and they've loved seeing all the changes going on, and it's been good.
That's awesome.
So I feel really good about it.
I'm glad everyone in this whole building could help.
Yes. You guys have been awesome.
That's awesome. So, can you tell me a little bit about how Macks Golden Grounds came to be?
Okay, so we initially wanted to purchase another business in town. That didn't work out, so we just kept working and seeing what we can do. And actually, the chamber helped us figure out who is willing to sell. And we were told that Captain Redbeard's was up for sale, and the first thing I said was, the name has to go. It has to be, we have to be able to change the name if we are going to purchase this. So we met with the KOOLs, and we liked what they had to say and offer, and we went to the drawing boards of coming up with names, and we actually used ChatGPT.
Yeah.
But so we didn't know if we wanted to use Mack's name, because Mack is our dog. He's a golden retriever. He is about 1.5 years.
And anyone who sees him on social media, he's adorable.
Yeah, he's cute. He's naughty, but he's cute. But we thought that having, I don't know how I came up with it. I'm just well, what if we somehow incorporated Mack into it? Like a golden retriever, you can't bring your dog there, but maybe you could it could be not necessarily dog themed, but I guess the vibe that I told my husband was that I want people to go in and feel like you're in somebody else's home. So a lot of the decorations are from my living room, by the way. Awesome. My house is really bare right now, but I want it to I wanted it to be a homey feel, and have that essence of dog that you would when you come into our house, you would actually see the real Mack, but in the store you can see essence of him, pictures and all of that. And so I guess one of the things that we were told about Captain Redbeard's is that not a lot of people knew that it was a coffee shop. They thought it was a bar. So I'm well, we have to have the name coffee in the name somehow. And one of the names that we came up with was Mack's Brews. And I'm oh, I don't know. That also feels like a bar. And then, so we went to ChatGPT, and I told it that I gave it my idea of I want this to be a small town, homey coffee shop. I really like gold, and I really like emerald green. And I want I want that to be a part of the atmosphere, kind of rusticy, kind of just cute. And it came up with 10 names. And then one of them was Mack's Golden Grounds. And I'm oh, I like that. And so it just kind of stuck. We sent it to my sister. We sent it to a couple friends in town, and they all loved it. And so that is just how we came up with it. It was really long-winded, and I'm really sorry.
No, I love the long-winded answers.
Yeah, so that's how we came up with it. And now we just call it, I used to call it the store when we first bought it, but now I'm finally finding myself saying, I gotta go to Mac's real quick. So I love that. And I hear I see a lot of people say, hey, do you want to meet at Mac's? And I'm just that's what we were looking for. Just a quick name. So
yeah, I've already heard people picking that up too.
And we love it.
Yeah, it's really cute in there. You guys have really transformed it.
Thank you. It's been a lot of fun. Chelsea Luce was the interior designer that we used.
Oh, cool.
I gave her my I want this to be my living room. These are the accents that I want. And I basically needed her help with paint because I didn't know where to paint, and I didn't know what colors to pick, and she knew what to do. So, and she gave us some really cute ideas. But yeah.
Even just the paint job, the taking the stuff off the windows. I don't even remember, but
Yeah, we actually tinted the windows after that because
Mhm.
even though that decal offered some sort of shade, so we did have to tint it, but
Mhm.
it's been really nice having the decal off of there because you can see out, like you can see
Yep.
so much into the city. It's pretty cool.
Yeah. It's very open.
Yes.
It's definitely opened it up a lot.
The green and the cream, like white that we did,
Mm-hmm.
it immediately made it feel so much better and bigger.
So homey, so cozy.
Mm-hmm.
Which usually mean like smaller areas,
right?
But like it's just so nice in there.
Sometimes it does feel really small when it's really full, but we love seeing it full. So but I guess that's when the cozy part comes in.
For sure. So why own a coffee shop? Like you said you were looking at some different options. What really like honed it in on the coffee shop?
Well, both Doug and I, my husband, we love coffee. Whenever we go to any kind of vacation, we always come home with some sort of bean. Like that's from that area. And I also, like I said, I used to work at Wendy's and I have some sort of like a semblance of how to run a restaurant.
Yeah.
And it was able to transfer really simply to do coffee. It took me about a week to figure out like the recipes and all of the stuff that they did. But then once that week was done, I'm like, okay, I got this. But I feel like this is what I should have been doing all along. Like it's been really good.
That's amazing.
And like as a joke, about 3 years ago when I moved back to town, I talked to my nieces about opening a cat cafe, which is like where you can like partner with like adopt to have cats come to and my nieces were so excited about that. They thought I was kind of joking about it, but I was also kind of serious. But I'm like, I don't know how to go about doing that. I just didn't know how to like get it going. Yeah. But like the fact that Captain Redbeard was already going, that sounds kind of lazy of me, but it was already a business, so I could just take over.
Yeah. It already had such a platform.
It did. Yeah. And everybody knew their drinks and like, so.
Cat cafes are big lately.
I know. I should have done it. I could have worked with Adopt-A-Pet, but
yeah.
I don't know.
You never know. You never know. So what does owning a coffee shop all entail day to day?
So I actually work the coffee shop too. I work as a barista. So I work in the mornings. And then after I get home from working, I either like do inventory. It's pretty mild to do inventory. You have to check and make sure that your baristas are making quality drinks, which is what sometimes if I go in like on a random evening and I order a drink, I'm I'm testing them.
Yeah.
But I'm doing that, making the schedule, making sure that we have just making sure that we have everything that we need to run, which is like our inventory, our coffee, our syrups. And then just making sure that we consistently make the same types of drinks, that we're keeping everything clean. And that we're just running a really good, like, clean business.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I have given, like, the hard parts of it, like the accounting, to my husband.
That's fair.
Yeah, he does a good job at that.
That's good. So you kind of talked about getting drinks. What would be your favorite drink?
Okay, so I love an Americano, which is just espresso shot with water, and I add a little bit of cream to it. I'm not a huge fan of really sweet drinks. But we did make a really good drink today. It's going to be on our Valentine's Day menu, which when this comes out, it'll already be out, but it's a cherry pie latte.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's cherry, shortbread, and brown sugar cinnamon, and we were all blown away with how good it was.
That sounds really good.
So, yeah, I'm really excited to roll that out on February 1st.
That does sound really good. How long is your Valentine's menu going?
Till February.
So just
just February to March. I'm trying to just change drinks each month.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Keeping it, like, changing the menu that much is also really nice because
it makes things it keeps things fresh.
It does. It does.
And it doesn't have like the 100 drinks that were on the menu to begin with Captain Redbeard's consistently. So it gives us a chance to try new syrups, try new things, and see what people like.
Yeah. Sometimes all those drinks could be a little overwhelming.
Yes.
But like he would just be like, well, I've got this drink, I know I like it, we'll stick with that.
Yes.
But like sometimes now I'll go there and I'll be like, Wow, I actually kind of want the drink of the day.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
Yep.
So,
At Cornerstone Bank, we are committed to providing you the best in banking products and service. With 46 locations throughout Nebraska, we are dedicated to serve you. Cornerstone Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
this episode is brought to you by Tallgrass and Union Bank and Trust. Now, let's get back to this episode. Do you have any drink or product that you've noticed like sells really good or like just does the best?
Our chai is really good. I've heard multiple people tell us not to change our chai,
Mm-hmm.
and I won't because it's delicious.
Yeah.
Our dirty sodas have been really picking up,
Really?
especially with like high schoolers and like younger people. And like a lot of my afternoon staff will get dirty sodas instead of coffee because you're not having the espresso based like caffeine in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
It's basically just a pop of your choice and syrup of your choice and cream and maybe a cold foam. It sounds really disgusting when you think about it. When you think about it, it sounds gross, but it's delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not my creation. I'm pretty sure it came from Utah, the land of Mormons, with all like, 'cause since they can't have coffee, they've come up with a different way.
I think they have like whole fast food outlets that have
They
this.
have like 3 different kinds. I've tried one of them when we were in Phoenix. It's called Swig. And it's okay, but I feel like we can make the drinks just as good at home.
Yeah.
But one of the drinks that I like when I would drink at home, I would make a diet Dr. Pepper with sugar-free coconut and sugar-free peach.
Ooh.
And it's really good. Dr. Pepper has so many flavors that it can just anything works with it. It's weird.
Just kind of blends together.
Yeah, it's so good. So those are really popular. Those are not as popular as I thought that they were going to be, but they are.
I might have to go try one because I've seen them. But, like, I've always kind of been like, I'm just gonna try.
In the afternoon, some of the girls know a lot about, like, they have some really good recipes. And then there's a secret recipe that my barista Nicole and I have. It's a cookie butter Dr. Pepper.
Ooh, that sounds yummy.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll have to keep that in mind.
Mm-hmm.
So recently, you guys have been doing some like collaborations with small businesses.
Yeah.
How's that been going?
Well, we haven't like fully finished a collaboration just yet. We're going to be doing something for Valentine's Day with Peterson's Petal Company, which we're really excited about.
Yeah.
We're going to be having a bouquet of flowers from Peterson's, and then I'm going to be offering a coffee, like one of 4 that I picked out. And then my barista Nicole actually makes those royal icing sugar cookies.
Oh, okay.
So she has her own business called Sincerely Nicole. So she's going to be providing the cookie, and Peterson's is going to deliver them on Valentine's Day. So hopefully it is a really good thing. We're really excited to do it.
Yeah.
When I hired Nicole, she wanted to do this like in August. She was super excited about it. So we were happy when Amanda approached us about this.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to like bring together little small community business.
Yes. Yep. And we've already talked with maybe Goody Pop to maybe use our coffee for their popcorn. I don't know if this is going to work. So I don't know. I don't know if it's like a top secret. But
ideas.
Yeah. And like I even like talked to potentially blended distilling again. I don't know if it's going to work, but it's just ideas that we've had. Like if you guys have coffee products, why not use our coffee?
Exactly.
It's really, really good coffee.
It is good coffee. So do you, like, within how long have you guys owned it?
Since July.
Since July. Wow.
It feels a lot longer than that, but it's only been like 7 months.
Wow, that's crazy. Since July, have you had any, like, crazy, cool, like, customer stories that have really stood out to you?
Oh, not necessarily, like, nothing, like, that's just like wow, but like the amount of stuff that you learn and like your customers talk to you about, it's just I like I'm an introvert.
Yeah.
I don't like to like talking to people, and like getting to know people is really not my thing. But I've loved learning like what's going on with other people's lives, and then being able to ask them about it is really cool. like an example, there's like we just get told like so many things. Like when somebody comes in and it's like, I can't have espresso today. And then they tell us they're pregnant. They're like, that's amazing, you know? Or like some people come in and like tell us like about their husband who just had potentially a stroke and is going in to like seeing what's going on with them. So we ask them about like what the like how they're doing and like what the news like. And so if they have good news, we can celebrate with them. But if they have bad news, we can grieve with them. So I'm gonna like tear up because there have been a few times where we've like, especially Nicole and I have just really like we've just taken it to heart, and it's like there are stories. So. And there are people, so it's like their family by coffee. Like we're related by coffee instead of blood.
I completely understand.
So yeah, so there's been a few people that have like come in and told us some pretty not great, like not the best news, and we've grieved with them. So
yeah.
So I didn't expect that.
When you work in the service industry like that in any form, and you see those people over and over and over, like. You trust them. They trust you. I mean, they trust you because you're giving them something they're immediately going to consume, but they trust you with the little things that are also the big things.
Right. Yeah. So we love to be in on that. And like there was a customer that came in today, and the first thing we said to them was, "Where were you? We haven't seen you for months." So she's like, "This is why we didn't come in. We wanted to have this reaction." And we had it. And I'm like, "Okay, good. We're just worried about you." So
I understand that. What do you see for the future of Macks?
There's so much potential. I don't know. Yeah. Like, there's some thoughts about getting a bean roaster that we can put in the basement and roast our own beans. There's been talks about getting, like, a secondary espresso machine that's smaller and, like, movable, so we could have, like, a coffee bar that's available at weddings or, like, events. There's talks about coffee trailers. Like, there's a lot of talks about what we can do to grow, but I don't know how to do it just yet.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that we get through, like, our first year.
That's fair.
And, like, survive.
Yeah,
and
fair.
And then talk about how we can grow to just grow more. Because, like, everybody shoots me ideas of what we should do, and I'm like, okay, cool, but we have to, like, just slow down a little bit. Like, we can't do all these changes all at once.
Yeah. For sure. Gotta kind of grow some roots. Even, like, that building, that place has been there for a while, but like Macks.
Yes. We are doing I don't know if I can talk about it, but we're potentially doing the DTR, like the downtown revitalization.
Oh, yeah.
So we've been working with a contractor to get us some quotes for that, so the building will have like a little bit of a facelift too. Like we were able to do the inside, but now we can do the outside.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
we're
excited.
A really helpful thing for the community.
It's been so cool. I didn't realize that was a thing until I started owning a coffee shop. I didn't realize that was something that was going on. Yeah, but I love it because it like brings life to downtown.
It really does. Some buildings have changed so drastically,
but they've needed it.
Oh yeah, no, they look beautiful.
Yes.
It's crazy. Okay, so a little less serious topics now. We like to play hot potato to kind of wrap up the podcast. Okay. We call it hot potato, but it's kind of like would you rather or this or that.
Yeah, sure.
And to stay on theme, I want to ask you, and I mean, you already said your favorite coffee, but would you rather have like a hot coffee or a cold coffee? Yeah?
100%. No matter if it's negative 25 degrees out, I'm not going to be drinking hot.
Yeah.
Although the drink that I mentioned earlier, the cherry pie, was really good hot. And I haven't tried it cold yet, but I do prefer cold drinks.
I'm with you there.
Iced coffee is the way to go.
I'm definitely with you there. Unless like I have a really sore throat or something.
Yes, then a hot tea.
I love myself a hot tea. Cats or dogs?
Okay, so I've always been a cat person, or I've always thought I was a cat person. I do have 3 cats, Buttercup, Snickers, and Shadow. They're also drinks on the menu.
Adorable.
So my parents would never let me have a dog growing up because they both worked, and they said that it wouldn't be fair to the dog. And so by default, we went to cats because cats could just like fend for themselves. And then I've just like stuck with cats for the longest time. And then I finally convinced my husband to get a puppy back in October of 2023. And I love Mack so much. I'm even finding myself looking at other dogs and being like, oh, you're so cute. And normally I'd be like, I'd rather have a cat. Yeah. So I'm really torn on this one. I think by default cat, but I'm growing to be more of a dog person.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Oh, cute. Sorry, I had a question.
That's okay.
I'm trying to like come up with ones as...
Yeah.
Small town or city?
Small town. So I grew up in the country and I hated it.
Really?
And yeah, so I was so excited to leave and go to a bigger town. Like Rockford, Illinois is where we lived. And it was like the size of Lincoln.
Okay.
Ish. Like
roughly.
They're very similar in size.
Yeah.
I hated it. I'm so glad we're back in a small town.
Yeah.
We lived in like a suburb of Rockford called Rockton, which was about the size of York, but they were all so close together. It was just, I don't know. I just like, Rockford had crime every other week. There was, when we first moved there, we lived in like a townhouse that was just like right by the river. And there was a body found under, like there was just so much crime. Like you couldn't go to the, like after COVID, you couldn't go to the mall without fear of being shot. So yeah, I mean, Rockford has a lot of really good and endearing qualities, and I'm not trying to bash it, but I'm happy to be back in York.
Oh, I get you. I mean, bigger cities, there's just so many more people, so many more areas. It's just so much more likely.
Yes.
You get yourself in a small town, you know people. Yeah.
It's been a lot easier to, like, reintegrate back into York. It was really hard to get involved with things in Rockford. Like, we tried several different churches. It was just hard. We did have some pretty good friends, but like our circle is so much bigger in York.
Yeah.
And it's been a lot better for us.
Yeah. Small towns. Yeah. Pretty nice.
Yes.
Would you rather have Mondays or Fridays?
Oh. I think, okay, so when I was in the corporate world, I would rather have had Fridays off. I hated working Fridays.
Yeah.
Because I used to work in insurance. And all of the producers would be off on Fridays, and then it would just be us, like, account managers that have to work. And I'm just like, this is so lame. Everybody's off. Everybody should be there. But Monday was always so busy, and you'd go so fast. And I've always said I'd rather work Monday than Friday. So Fridays.
I think that's fair.
I think I could still stick with that. There's a group of ladies that come into the shop on Mondays, and I love seeing them. So I'd work Mondays.
Yeah, love those regulars.
Yes.
Are you more like outsidey or like
I'm
indoors?
inside. I'm an introvert. I like to read. I like to be inside.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I like to say sometimes I'm more like outside or outdoorsy instead of like I'm not gonna go like tent camping. But if you get me like a nice camper or a cabin, I like AC.
yes. Or go to like Estes Park where you don't need the AC. You can just like open your door on the river and you'll be good.
I like being in the nature.
Yes,
for a limited time.
Agreed. I grew up on a farm, but I hate getting dirty.
Yeah,
that's something bugs. Like, yeah, I hate bugs. I hate getting my hands dirty. Like, my husband's like, you grew up on a farm, and I'm like, maybe that's why.
I get you. Are you? Ooh, this is interesting. Considering you own a coffee shop, are you more of an early bird or night owl?
I'm an early bird.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
How early do you usually have to be at the coffee shop?
So thankfully, we don't have like a super early morning. We open at 7, so I don't have to be there until like 6:40 or 6:45. It's not bad. There have been a few people that have asked us to open at 6:30, and I'm like, I don't know.
Extra 30 minutes makes a huge difference.
It does. Because, like, getting up at 5:45 isn't bad, but I don't know if I could probably do 5:15.
Yeah.
I could probably do it, but I'm like, ugh. But I'd have to ask my other 2 openers if they'd be willing to do that. But maybe that's another thing that could be coming for Macks, is maybe a little bit earlier, but.
Yeah. Who knows? You might get an extra rush of people that early.
We could. Yeah.
Well, do you have any parting words of wisdom? Anything that I didn't bring up? Anything missed?
I don't know. Oh, not really. I don't know.
Do you have any drinks that, like, if someone's there for the first time and they're like, what do you recommend?
So, a lot of people, like, literally so many people have asked my barista Nicole this week, and so we've sold so many of her favorite drinks because hers is one of them on the staff favorites. But I recommend the Mack Attack because it's kind of like the signature drink. It was the signature drink of Redbeard's. It's our signature drink. A lot of people love the All Dogs Go to Heaven. Sometimes I'll recommend the drink of the week, but honestly, it's either the Mack Attack or if Nicole's working, she'll recommend the Caramel Kettle Corn.
Ooh, that sounds good.
It was surprising, and it was only supposed to be a fall drink, but she begged me, so it stayed
around.
Yeah.
Interesting. Well, thank you for taking the time to chat. This was really fun.
Thanks. It was fun to be here.
Of course. Thank you.
Yes.
In closing, we would like to again thank our stakeholders, the people who help us drive change. We would like to thank Henderson State Bank, Midwest Bank, Mead Lumber Company Incorporated, Nebraska Public Power District, York News Times, Collins Aerospace, and Perennial Public Power District. And thank you, our listeners, for tuning in. Until next time.